All right, so if you are interested in working in schools as a child worker, looking after children between the ages of 2, 3, or 4 years old, this content is for you. Just sit by and listen. My name is Chinyere Ojike. Welcome to my channel once again. If you're seeing me for the first time, please like my video, subscribe to my channel, share to anyone who might benefit from it. Becoming a child worker in schools is something very fascinating and a rewarding kind of role. In this very content today, I will be sharing with you all you need to know how to get into it if you are interested, the pay rate, the working hours, though disadvantages. So a lot of people prefer working with younger children in nursery school, daycare, rather than working in the primary schools or in the secondary. The secondary school is the one a lot of people are running away from, and some work in the colleges of education. So this would be me sharing with you all I do as a child worker. When I go into a school in the morning, especially in the daycare or in a primary school, because some primary schools in England, they have their nursery section, they have their reception section. Reception is a must in every primary school, but nursery, not every primary school has a nursery section. Talk more of a daycare, so daycare is entirely different on their own. So when I work in a daycare, I work with preschoolers, children between the ages of 2, 3, and 4. They are preparing them to go to school. So what do they normally do in a preschool? Mostly they do this kind of pretend play. They play around. They have their kitchen section, that's kitchen department. They have their construction section. They have the sand pit. We make play-dohs for them to like mimic making cakes, cookies, and they have sections. When they come in the morning, normally, what is it called? Preschool or daycare. They start as early as 7 a.m. in the morning. Yes, because most parents come in there, drop their children, and go to work. So they open quite on time in the morning. But I will tell you the flexibility. Don't run away yet, because you can even start 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So cool down, do not run. Okay. Because I know starting 7 o'clock would be something that would put you off. No, far from it. I've never ever resumed work at 8 o'clock since all the time I've gone to work in a daycare. So stay tuned. Yeah. So they have this routine in the morning. Once they come in, some children would have their breakfast because, like I said, most parents, they are rushing to work, so they bring in their children and we make breakfast for them. They have options as to what they would like to take. We make the breakfast for them. They sit down and have their breakfast, after which they go choose wherever they would like to play, with a kind of guidance of an adult. You just have an eye on them because these are children. You watch them as they play. Some would even want you to play with them. We make the play doh for them, separate them, and they go play. And once it's 10 a.m. in the morning, that is their snack break. They come to the table or they sit on the floor where they could have some snack and drink. We sit with them, we give them the snack. Then after which they decide where to go and play again. In some daycares that are very much organized, just like the place I'm currently working in, they would bring in these children. About 9 o'clock, they do what is called circle time. We sing nursery rhymes and we do a welcome song. We sing a nursery song like, "Hello, John, how are you? Hello, John, who is sitting next to you?" Then John would say the name of the next person sitting next to him, and would sing, we go round, circle time. And then they go back to play. Before you know it will be 10 o'clock. They come for their snack. After which we ask them to choose where they would like to play. Some would say in the kitchen area where they will be cooking, cutting raw carrot, messing with rice and all of that. Some would say they want to go in the construction area where they will pretend constructing some stuff. Some would say in the sand pit, you go there and sit with them, you mess around in the sand. Fun. That's the fun of it. Some would like to change into different dresses, that's professional clothes, princess gown, construction for the boys and doctors. It's a whole lot of pretend play we do there. If you did not play as a child, it's an opportunity for you to play as an adult with the children there. Before you know it, it will be 12 o'clock. They come together again for their lunch. They sit around the table, they have their dinner at 12 o'clock. And then for the nursery classes, which is the preschoolers or the babies, what they do for them after lunch, they change their diapers. Unfortunately, if you are an agency worker, you are not allowed to change diapers or even take the keys to the toilet. Great advantage for you as an agency worker, isn't it? It is the men staff who are directly employed by the schools that are allowed to do to change diapers, and also take them to the toilet when they need help. But for you, you can take them to the toilet area to wash their hands before lunch or before any snacks. So after the lunchtime, they change their diapers. And what do you do as an agency worker? You can help with cleaning up where they had their dinner, tidy up the table, use brush and scrub the floor. That's it. Put out the dishes, send to the kitchen. They would put it in the dishwasher in some schools. But some schools or some daycares, they would want you to do that. Even when some of these schools do have dishwashers, some staff you worked with would want you to do that. Anyway, you've been washing dishes in your house all along, so it's not a big deal. Just clean up the plastic thing there and stack them, the cup, and then you go for your break, 30 minutes break. Hence, you are working for more than 7 hours or 6 hours, isn't it? So once they wake up again, it is another playtime. They go straight to play. Before you know it, it's 2 o'clock. They come back for their snack again. And what do? The same thing you did in the morning, giving them snack. It could be fruits and water or something else, cookie. They will eat and then they go back to play. You can do reading story time, not really you. The staff you work with can take all this, but if you can, that's fantastic. Sometimes some children would come to you with a book and say they want you to read that story for them. What is in a book? You read a story book. You sing nursery rhyme, and before you know it, it is 4 p.m. again. They have their dinner. So after their dinner, they go back to play again. Time is going, isn't it? It depends on when you will be finishing. And this is a similar thing that occurs when you work in the babies section. Unfortunately, sorry to say this, I do not like working in the babies section because it's more like you sitting down there, nursing the babies, carrying them with babies can't talk. That's the thing. Babies cannot talk, and these are children. Some are less than one, some are 1 plus less than two. These are the set of children in the babies area. They crawl, some are starting to walk. You just carry them. It can be boring unless you really have a chatty staff that you'll be working with. Honestly, I don't like working in the babies area. I've done it 3 times or 4 times now. No. The last time I worked, they asked me to go in the babies area. I screamed, they had to put me back to the preschoolers area. Yes, I love it because those children in preschool ages, they can talk, they can ask you questions, you can do nursery rhyme with them, you can sing circle time. But for the babies, you can't do circle time. I am not telling you the disadvantages of working in a daycare. You can read a story for them because they hear, but sometimes they know they pay attention. You have to carry and nurse them. Anyway, it's a blessing looking after babies. Yes, coming to the flexibility of this job, it is very much flexible. Currently in my workplace, I have a woman. She's a student doing her master's, so she comes in to work in that daycare. That is to say that she does 20 hours in a week as a student. I think she works Mondays and Wednesdays or so. Who can send you to these places? You can get this job directly from those schools, which is the daycare. You can, right now, they ask me to submit my application. And if I was to submit my application to work there, I would say 3 times in a week. That means I would also suggest to them that I want to start working from 9 a.m. in the morning until 3:30 or 4 because I've got school run to do. So an agency can send you to this place or these places, daycare, schools, primary schools, secondary schools, as the case may be. I think I've made a video about some of the agencies that provide job to schools in the UK. I will leave the link here and also in my description for you to check them out. I listed up to 21 agencies. Currently, I work for Teaching Personnel, Education Network, Teacher Active. So do not just register with one, but you can just start with one agency and it goes on and on because some of the agencies do provide services or teaching assistants, child workers to primary school and daycare, and they don't do secondary. Another agency does secondary and college. And the reason you should just register with more than one agency. All right, so coming to the big question, how much do I get paid, or how much does a child worker get paid? It all depends. If you are permanently employed in a school, you might be getting starting from £24,000 a year to 33 a year, and as a permanent staff in a daycare, you know what that means. You are expected to work, they work more hours, to be honest with you, compared to the normal school, primary schools and secondary schools. So they get a bit higher pay. But I am talking as an agency worker that goes in whenever I want to go in, half 8 or 9 o'clock until 3:30. The last time I worked for Richton's was half 8 until 3:30. That should be around 7 hours or 7.5 hours. And I got paid, I will be honest with you, £92 plus, So when you divide it, it should be around £13 or £13 plus per hour. Normally they don't pay you per hour. I don't know how they calculate this. You see that it is far more better than when you do care. Some people get paid £11, depending, care. If you work during the weekend, you get paid higher, but just less hours and you get paid something that is okay, especially if you have children at home. They allow me that flexibility. Going in, starting half 8, that means in the morning I must have taken my child to a breakfast club that starts 8 a.m. Then go to my workplace, and if the place is also within, sometimes you can tell them that you want to start 9 o'clock. It is acceptable. I've started 10 o'clock in one of the days, and you tell them when you want to finish your agency. They can let you finish 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. But remember, if you are taking a full-time job there, it closes at 6 p.m. Yes, that's when the last child leaves the daycare, 6 p.m. But then, if you are a student, they would let you do just 10 hours in a day to complete your 20 hours. 10 hours times 2 in 2 days. That's what that lady does at my workplace. The 2 days she comes in, 10 hours times 2. So it is very much flexible. So disadvantages of working in a daycare. Let's start by talking about if you are taking a permanent role there as a full-time staff, their holiday, like I stated, is always very short. Like when schools, normal schools, will be going on their midterm breaks, they don't have midterm breaks. They only go on holidays, on bank holidays, maybe Christmas holiday. If regular schools are vacating on the 20th, daycare may be vacating on the 23rd. And if other schools are resuming, maybe January 5th or January 6th, like the primary schools resumed January 6th this year, you know, what is it called? Daycare, because I asked them, they said on the 2nd. Hey, on the 2nd, when I am still somewhere celebrating New Year. That was the reason when they said I should submit my application. I look at them. I don't want because I know I'm gonna give them condition as to saying I would like to work 3 times in a week. Then I thought about it. Even if I start working 3 times in a week, and Christmas I was going to go for holiday. I left on the 21st to Jersey Island. Imagine that means 3 times in a week. I should commit and fulfill that. It's a contract. Even if schools are on holiday, that my 3 times in a week I must go in. I wouldn't have that 1 week break with my child. I considered my boy, that means I'll have to take him to somebody's house, so that I can give in that 3 times in a week I signed in my contract. And if you are doing a full time, that means every week you are there. Their holidays are usually very short. And the second disadvantage is that you play and play until you get tired. Sometimes, the thing they turn my eyes, when you have to keep playing, repeating the same thing, scooping sand, Hey, something you know that is not adding anything to your head. So if you did not play during your childhood, daycare, nursery, working with babies don't even do much. That preschoolers, hey, preschoolers, those ones that are less than 4, yeah, yeah, they can play and play. They don't get tired, And sometimes when the weather is good, they go outside, to play in the muddy party, blah blah blah. They get messed and blah blah blah. But it's okay. They are just exploring the world around them and nature, and it helps to boost their mental reasoning. So that is what they are there for, to play and have fun. Another disadvantage is having to work with children who have challenging behavior. It all depends how many you've got. There was a particular daycare where I worked in the past. We had about 3 children there who were just, sorry to say, they were bullies as at that time. I just hope they've changed by now, because this was last year. They bully other kids. Every now and then you've got to separate them, and they use strong words or they should not be using in a school environment where other children are. Another disadvantage is that sometimes these children, they come in with a lot of cough, a lot of flu, and they can easily spray that. And you cannot escape from that, because you work with them, you play with them. If your gene is not strong enough as mine, you can easily get exposed. Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I've never ever contracted any micro from these children. Sometimes again, disadvantage is that their pay might be very much lower than those in primary school, secondary school. You know, Another thing is that if you are working there permanently, career progression is something that is not that realistic, because you are so relaxed, comfortable working with children whom you do not put anything, like teaching them as a teaching assistant that you were employed for. Because definitely, if an agency employs you, they give you the tag as a teaching assistant or a child worker, depending. But sometimes you see that you are not really doing that teaching assistant. You are just a play assistant, play help, And that's really crazy. These are just the advantages and many others that I cannot state here. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And remember to check out that video. I will leave in the description in case you are interested in getting a job in a daycare. If you are looking for some flexible working hours, that would be a great place for you to start. Thank you once again, and see you in my next upload. Bye.